Hi everyone, Neve here from Lithium Batteries SA, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the Rhino Intelliflex high voltage battery. This battery has been designed to cater to all the problems that installers have had to face when installing high voltage in the South African market. So our battery ranges from 23 to 88 kilowatt hours per rack, and you can parallel up to 60, which gives you 5.2 megawatts. So when you're connecting high voltage, the modules are connected in series instead of parallel. So all this means is your voltage goes up and your amps remains the same, whereas on low voltage, your voltage remains the same and your amps go up. So without further ado, let's start the unboxing. Alright, there we have it. It takes a little over 8 minutes for only 2 people to install a 72 kilowatt hour Rhino Intelliflex battery. Now, I'd like to discuss the components that go into this battery, which will include the controller, the number of modules specified depending on the capacity that you require, and then the rack itself. Along with the battery, you'll receive a smaller box of components, which will include 4 of these IP65 connectors. You'll have a positive and negative battery plug. There will be 2 terminators. One will be for your CAN and the other for your parallel. You'll also have your locking key, which will secure the controller and all the modules to the rack itself. And last but not least, there's a set of screws. So we provide the screws for when you're installing more than one rack. So there are slots to secure one rack to the next, just for more stability. So now that we've gone over all the components, let's go over all the features. So the first feature I'd like to discuss is the CAN failover. In the event of a master battery failure, the system does not shut down. A slave battery will immediately detect the loss via the CAN line and automatically take over as master. This ensures uninterrupted communication with your inverter and continued operation. The next thing I'd like to discuss is battery hot adding. So when you are adding a new battery, that's voltage is different from the rest of the installation. You don't have to worry about balancing. So as soon as you add the new battery, it will either charge or discharge at 10 amps by using the bidirectional current limiter to balance itself out with the rest of the installation. The next feature is module hot swapping. So the biggest problem and concern that installers face when installing high voltage is the balancing between modules. So typically when you add a full module into a rack that is hypothetically on 50%, you'll have to either discharge that new module or charge all the other modules up manually. So with our batteries, we have an internal smart balancer that will burn the excess power from the higher module by using 4 1000 watt resistors in the controller. Now, as you can see, there are no wires connecting the modules to each other. So we have designed the battery to be completely wire-free where that is regarding. So at the back of the rack, there are bus bars that connect each module in series. And then there's also a communication board that communicates to the controller for every cell's voltage and temperature. The next feature is that you have a locking key. So there are slots on each controller and module to secure the actual module and controller to the rack itself. This ensures that a client can't just pull out the module, and it also ensures stability. The next feature is that we've included a fire suppression solution inside the controller. This is mainly for electrical fires that could possibly happen due to excess heat in the environment on the PCB boards. So this is not a solution for the lithium itself, although we have partnered with Fireblock for the lithium fire suppression. So you can just give us a call and we'll explain the whole installation and process to you for that. The next feature is that this battery can do 2C for 60 seconds. So you don't have to overspec your battery side when your client has CNC machines or motors, basically any equipment with high inductive loads. Now you can just spec a normal battery and the equipment will run perfectly. The next feature is that this battery can be connected to a grid tie system. So for those of you who don't know, a grid tie system is only a grid tie inverter with solar panels connected. So your solar panels are supporting your load completely during the day. The problem with this is that we do have clients who have peak demands. So you are being charged up to 9 Rand a unit between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the morning, and then 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night. There's no sun during this time, so you will have to definitely pay those prices when using power for those times. But with this battery, you don't have to worry about that. So now you can connect the battery directly to a central bus bar with your solar panels and then to your inverter. So during those times, your battery will act as a sun towards the loads. We achieve this by having a time of use setting on the controller. So what this does is you'll have 4 time zones and you can tell the battery when it has to discharge. This ensures that you can only use the battery during those peak times and that you will have enough capacity for those times. So that is all the features of the Rhino Intelliflex high voltage battery. I hope you're impressed.